Hey everyone, today's Remnant 2 video is specifically tailored for those of us who struggle with bosses in games like this. It took me about an hour and a half to really figure out how to overcome the Red Prince in Remnant 2. He was quite the challenge for me at veteran difficulty. My hope is that with this guide, you can cut that down by at least 50% and achieve a much quicker victory. If you're stuck on the Red Prince, or if you're even trying to figure out why you might want to take out this boss, he has the best mod in the game, at least for the early game, called Firestorm. So not only does Firestorm serve as a major distraction for bosses and other enemies, what it is that it creates a devastating tornado of fire that decimates anybody in its way, including yourself and maybe your allies, so be sure to stay away from it. And all it takes is one quick launch, and your enemies will have their hands full with this Firestorm that causes good damage per second while keeping the enemy fully occupied. We do this by obtaining the Forlorn Fragment after we eliminate the Red Prince. We just gotta go back to War 13 to get it crafted, and we're all set and all good there. There are also other benefits to defeating the Red Prince. You can also obtain the Red Prince's crown as well. Not only does it look cool, it has really good buffs as well. I'll link to a video from another prominent name, you might want to guess who it is just for fun, on how to not only obtain the Assassin's Dagger, but also on how to use the Assassin's Dagger to eliminate the Red Prince to acquire the Red Prince's coveted crown. Refer to the same video if you want to figure out how to roll and reroll your campaigns to take on this boss. Let's discuss the three phases of the battle. 1. You start off with combat across the whole area. 2. You're forced into the Firestorm by the boss in full melee combat. And 3. When he's weakened and loses the ability to hold onto the Firestorm, it's your chance to chase him down in the whole area and take him out for good. Phase number 1, it's in a pretty open area, platform in the middle, and the surrounding areas are also zones for combat. He exhibits standard moves like close range slices and a sword throw, and he also spawns clones that mimic his moves. Phase 1's in the open area, but as soon as you reduce his health bar by about 1/3, all hell breaks loose, and he casts his version of Firestorm, and Inferno from outside in tries to engulf you into instant permanent death. The trick during phase 1.5 is to just make sure you end up on the middle platform in the Gilded Chambers to avoid getting insta-killed. And this is when we move on to phase 2. In phase 2, you're surrounded by the fire in melee zone. You're standing in the middle of the map. He's trying to slice you to pieces with his sword. Don't hit the border of the Inferno because that's instant death. Again, this phase involves a lot of melee combat, so avoid his melee hits. Or number 2, if you have something like Scrap Shot or a different mod that lets you slow down the Red Prince, it helps a ton. Slow his movements so you can get the patterns down much more easily. As you reduce his health bar down further, close to nothing, his fire goes away, and we approach phase 3. Phase 3 is really similar to phase 1 in that you're in the same open area with a platform in the middle, same skills. He continues to spawn clones that mimic his moves, but only this time you have a chance to eliminate him. If you're persistent, you're going to have him down in no time, and you're going to be able to get this Forlorn Fragment and be able to get a version of the Firestorm that he has to cast on enemies down the line. Now before we dive into the successful playthrough, let's go through his moves really quick. As far as melee goes, he's got a pretty standard set of sword swings that extend further. Just have to practice a little bit, roll away from the hits, get the pattern down, and you'll be good to go. Now with ranged attacks, this is where it's a little nuanced. He can throw many knives at you at once. It takes a little time for him to charge up, but these are pretty straightforward to dodge as soon as you get the timing down. Just make sure to not run into any of the knives. Occasionally though, he'll call the knives back, so they might hit you in the back as they return to him, so make sure to dodge these too. He's got a few more moves. He's also got a diagonal mid-range toss that he applies just to mix things up. If you like what you've listened to so far and has been helpful, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'd actually love to know how long it takes you, or took you, to take care of the Red Prince, and if this video was helpful. Please enjoy, and let's dive in together. This is a successful playthrough. We're running a shotgun, the Bulldog, as our long gun. He's just going to be shooting a bunch of stuff at us, throwing a bunch of knives, trying to melee us with his sword. And one quick item of housekeeping, please feel free to turn off voice lines and music. I found it extremely irritating to hear the same voice lines repeated over and over again. If you don't want to get distracted and you're kind of finicky like I am, turn off the music and the voice lines during this really intense battle. As you can see here, he spawns his little minions, clones of himself. You definitely want to take those out so that you don't get DPS'd in the back. The curse effect that you see on my character, no way for me to get rid of it, so I'm just gonna have to deal with a smaller health bar. He casts this gnarly looking Inferno. Our goal when he casts that Inferno is going to be to get to the middle of the map to avoid getting burned instantly to death. In this second stage, it's purely going to be close quarters combat. Again, which is why Scrap Shot is important. Scrap Shot allows us to slow down the Red Prince so that we can land more and more of our shotgun shots on him. He's going to be teleporting in and out quite often. Every time he teleports in, shoot him with the Scrap Shot. It makes life a whole lot easier if you're running the Gunslinger archetype. He's gonna keep casting his things. He's gonna keep trying to hit you with his long-range sword throw. Just ding him, keep hitting him. We're running a archetype here, the Gunslinger, with a secondary, subclass. Handler is a subclass here. Technically, when we combine the Gunslinger as a prime archetype with Handler as second, it's called a loaded Ridgeback. That is it for now. If you liked what you watched, if you learned a thing or two from this video, feel free to comment, leave a like. I want to hear more about your builds. I really wish I had more time to play Remnant. It's really fun. The gameplay loop is cool, and it's just cool supporting a non-AAA studio as well, and to kind of see how this game grows and how the community grows.